Hey everyone, it's Maria here, and today we're going to do a bit of a rant on the emotional toll of having a CSF leak because I think we can all agree yes, anyone who has a CSF leak is going to get headaches. Yes, the headaches suck, but there is so much more to having an invisible injury like a CSF leak that takes an emotional toll and just can really inconvenience your life aside from the pain component of it all. And for me, one of those things, which I've actually been feeling especially this week, but I felt it all the time, is making plans is basically impossible. You have someone who's like, let's go to the lake 3 weeks from now. Let's go paddleboarding. And you're like, great, let's do it. And then you're great for those 3 weeks, like I've been. I've been great for the last 3 weeks. But I literally woke up this morning with a brutal, brutal headache. I haven't had one that bad in a really long time. And I don't even know what caused it. But then you make these plans, the day comes, and you completely feel like shit. And you weren't anticipating feeling like shit, or maybe you were, but you do. And so you make these plans, and you either have to A, cancel them. So then you're also dealing with a FOMO aspect of all this stuff, or you B, suck it up, take a bunch of meds, and push your body to limits that you may not really want to be pushing them to in order to go and do these fun things. Or C, you just stop making plans, period, because you don't want to promise yourself to things that you can't necessarily make it to. Like, I don't want to be that flaky friend that bails, but making plans has actually started to become a stressor for me and for my partner. I'm in a relationship. My boyfriend wants to be able to go out and do fun things. And I feel like that downer that's always like, oh, what if I don't feel good that day? What if it's a family barbecue and I go because I have to go, but then I'm not bringing my A game because I don't feel well. And that's the other thing about having a CSF leak is, like I said, it's an invisible injury. It's like a concussion. So if I'm not complaining or letting people know that I'm uncomfortable, people assume that you're fine. But then if you're always complaining about how you're feeling, you're a Debbie Downer, you're negative. People don't want to be around that. And so I still, in all honesty, between having my first CSF leak in 2020 and having this CSF leak now in 2025, I wish I could tell you that I have found the balance between the two. But I haven't, because you do go out to a friend function, a family function, something where you just want to show up and bring your best self. And if you don't feel well that day, it's very hard to do that. And I find that people aren't the most understanding unless you tell them how you're feeling. But then at the same time, people don't understand what a CSF leak is. You tell them you have a headache, and most people think take a Tylenol and get rid of your headache. What are you complaining about? But it's not that easy. I took a Tylenol today. I took an Advil today. I still have my headache. Did it help a little bit? Yes, it helped a little bit, but it did not make it go away like it would with the regular headache. So all this is to say is it can feel quite isolating. I think all these symptoms together, they can increase your irritability, they can increase your sadness, they can increase your anxiety because it does take a toll on your life. Even if it's not about making plans, it's just if you have a life to live, if you have things to do and you've got this brain fog that's sometimes attached to a CSF leak or often is attached to a CSF leak. If you have kids you have to take care of, that's going to make you anxious because you have all these responsibilities that you cannot be 100% for. I'm a 911 operator. I'm a police dispatcher in Vancouver. And especially back in 2020 when my symptoms were very severe, I was very scared to go to work. I was very nervous to go to work because my brain didn't feel 100% there. And I felt, what if I miss something? What if I don't react fast enough to a caller? What if I don't react fast enough to an officer on the radio? It was very nerve wracking going to work and having to deal with really big, intense calls, which on their own can take an emotional toll on you. But it's even harder to do when you have a CSF leak and you're worried about your own performance when you're doing these things. There's a lot of feelings of being misunderstood. And this is something else that I haven't really been able to find the balance between is over explaining what I have so that I can get validation from people. Like I want people to understand how I feel that this sucks and just leaving it being like, this is what I have. Some people aren't just going to get it and I just have to accept that and I have to leave that alone. I kind of ebb and flow between one or the other depending on the day. Especially back in 2020, I was afraid of getting out of bed in the morning because you don't know how you're going to feel. Some days you get out of bed, you feel fine. Some days you get out of bed and you completely feel like crap. So you never know what day you're going to get sometimes, which again takes an emotional toll on you. So This is my rant today, especially because today I'm having a crappy day. And I was like, if you asked me 3 weeks ago if I even have a CSF leak, I'd be like, it doesn't feel like I do. Then I have a day like today where I'm like, my head is freaking killing me. And to be honest, it actually just popped into my head that it's probably the weather outside because the weather has dramatically changed in the last few days in Vancouver. And that's probably screwed my head up a bit too, because low pressure systems affect CSF leaks. So that's my rant. If you've got a leak and you also have your own rant or something very specific and weird that really grinds your gears about having a set CSF leak that's not just about the headaches, feel free to comment down below. It's not all bad days, but it's not all good days, and it is what it is. And I'll see you in the next video.